This still looks bad. Look, Bolly. How are you? Is that right? That still looks cockeyed. Let's get this over here. Get this down here. Still looks cockeyed. Maybe things out there. Oh, that looks better, right? Look at my hair. Oh boy, look like Goldilocks there. Except not with gold, right? With brown hair. Hello. How are you? I've been busy. A lot of stuff going on. It's almost Christmas, and I realized I didn't get all my Christmas presents in there. Hello, Tanner. So, I thought I was this done with Christmas. I actually am that done with Christmas. So I need to get on it. I don't know. How's y'all's Christmas? This is a late one. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Because I just got done. We watched a movie, and then I got a few other things done. Record a few mat chats for next week. No, next month. And then I thought, you know what? I kind of want to do this. See how everyone's doing. How's it going? Yeah. It's been a busy couple of weeks. It's going to be a busy. I don't know if I'll have time to do anything next week with the week of Christmas going on. I'd like to, but I don't know. But I was like, well, if I'm going to do something, may as well do it now. I don't know if I'll be able to do it later. I know it's like super late for a lot of you. There's always something else to do. That is true. That is true. That is so true. And it's been really busy. But yeah, thankfully I'm just coming out of the woods of that. I mean, I'm going to wrap up work this week, and then I'm off for the rest of the year, which will be nice. I'll have some free time. Got to get some stuff done, taken care of. Got to get some games played. Haven't been reading any books lately because I finished my last one, and I've basically read everything on that shelf now. But I'm thinking about I'm hoping to get some books for Christmas that I'm going to read, and that would be fun too. But yeah, everything else has been recorded. It just takes me a while to edit it, and I don't feel like editing anymore tonight. I did a lot of editing in the past couple of weeks now. So yeah, a year and a half at least since you watched a stream. I should put these up here. Here, hold on. There we go. 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 Hey, yeah, good. Glad you could see one. I may do a day stream, maybe, if I have the time next week, since I'll be off. Because I know there's different people at different times who can come see me. And I think that'd be fun. But yeah, I was thinking about what was I talking about there? Was the oh yeah, what I want to do for the expandeduniverse.com. I have a few ideas. Getting some more contributors. In fact, I think I got to look over a piece that someone submitted, but really looking at ramping that up starting the new year. And of course, probably do some voting. We did that back last March it's funny because those shows, we started doing that show right before the pandemic, like a few weeks before the pandemic. Then the pandemic hit 2 weeks later, and we didn't know what was going on. So got it on. Well, that's odd.
Hey, Matt, what's up?
How'd you get an invite?
Oh, someone might have sent it
passed
to me.
it around. I gave it to him because I told him I would tell him that he could come on to the next one. Is he going to join us?
Let's see. He said he wasn't really feeling that good.
Oh, I hate to hear that then. Anyway, yeah. I promised him and one other person an invite, and so I sent them the invites because I try to keep it equal when I have people. Oh, no, wait, never mind. Look at that. There he is.
Yeah. Here we go.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. There might be a chance that I might have it. So That's
Oh
what.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, so not feeling well, my friend.
Oh, let's just say I got a massive, painful head cold right now.
That sucks.
So
That sucks.
yeah, it does.
Besides that, how have things been?
Let's see. Work. Went on vacation. Work.
Yeah, my cousin is a UPS driver, and it's late nights for them, and it's all day every day. So been very busy. Now, Iron, are you working right now?
I'm actually still at my grandma's.
Oh yeah, right on.
I've been hiding out here for about 6 months.
Hunkered
Crazy.
down. Look at that. It's awesome. Hey, Jamie. Jamie, I don't know if you saw Norm's interview with me, but I talked about you, mocked you slightly. Are you still in Florida, Jamie? You still enjoying that sun? I don't know what the weather's like down there, but that man is, last I heard, was in Disney World, enjoying the fun time
Ooh.
out there. Funny enough, I don't know what's going on this week, but I have another buddy who went down there too, my co-host on my podcast. In fact, I called him last night. I said, "Hey, do you want to come over and film, next week's podcast? Because that's the week of Christmas, and we're both going to be busy. So let's just film it now." He went, "Oh yeah, dude, I took off for Orlando, Florida." I was like, What?" So, okay, back home in California, sunny California.
Oh man. Water now.
So, are you taking some time off, Kyle?
Well, basically what happened was I got sick over the weekend, but I thought it was just a regular cold, but I caught it from a coworker. Then he got his grandma sick like during the week last week. And then it was confirmed positive for COVID. I was like, "Oh crap. That means that means I caught it and I had to get another test. And this was prior to me getting another test.
Right.
Yesterday. Stick one of those things up your nose, and the doctor told me, and I had symptoms and whatnot because cold and COVID, similar symptoms. So they told me I'm not allowed to go back to work until I get my second test because I got a rapid test, 2 tests, and rapids are not recommended by any stretch because they actually kind of suck. So right now my head feels like it's going to explode. So it's a true head cold or migraine, whatever you want to call it.
So, last month, we had a COVID scare with my mom, but it turned out she was fine. So I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I had one with the cast I worked with. We had two quarantined. One tested positive, but the thing was, it was over our Thanksgiving break. But because it had been just a small time in between, like 4 or 5 days in between, they wanted me to cancel the show. So, but no one else caught it. Everyone was tested negative. And to be fair, the whole cast was very level-headed about it because they knew he had gotten it over Thanksgiving break. They knew he didn't give it to anyone. So everyone was pretty chill over it, but the board decided that it was for the best, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. Didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable.
Oh no.
Does not recommend. Quinlan had COVID too. I think a lot of people have by this point.
Hello, person.
Hello.
Yeah. I think I had it back in January. My wife and I were talking about this. I had a cough. We didn't know. Back before anyone knew what COVID was. I had this cough that would not go away. I mean, it lasted for weeks. And I can't remember I thought it was just the flu, but of course it could have been COVID. You didn't know COVID.
Yeah, you never know.
So January I had it, went through it, and I have been exposed a bit. In fact, the kid who got it, I saw him just the day before. I was hanging out with him, and he got it, and I didn't. And that's not the first time that's happened. I ate with my brother a few days before he got it. I hung out with my sister and her husband the day before they got it. I mean, we have been exposed, and I'm not immune. I know that. So I had it earlier, I think, and I was probably one of the first people to have it. So Yeah, you have Jamie telling you to hang tough there, Kyle.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're with you, Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about my parents, actually.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because over the weekend, I wasn't careful enough because I was like, it's just a cold. I'm pretty sure it's just a winter cold. I don't think anybody's going to get COVID. And then the results from my friend's grandma came, and I was like, well, I feel like crap now because I just endangered my family. And now
Well, I mean, the good news is there is a high recovery rate of that. That's what people don't understand. But the thing, I mean, like my parents got it. They were upper 60s, and Dad, I think, was 70, and he was down for 4 days. And then Kyle, he was mowing his grass on day 5. So, I mean, it goes differently. I mean, obviously, if they have existing symptoms or I think 65 and older. But I mean, still high recovery rate, and with vaccines coming out and stuff like that, it's only going to, get better, I believe.
I sure hope so.
Hopefully, yeah.
That vaccine is needed. We could combat this stupid thing.
Yeah, I agree with Eric there. Everyone will say they had it if they didn't. When's my Unifying Force review? That is tomorrow. We skipped today on purpose because there's a special coming out. I forgot to mention this on my channel, on my monthly review, but there's a special coming out. It's going to be Friday. I'm bringing out the Yub Nub Holiday Special.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I poke a little bit. I actually used a skit that I had to ditch for my birthday. I was going to do a birthday video, and the things I needed didn't come in time. One thing I needed. I was like, well, I'm not going to do it if it's not that. So I was missing one of the props too, so I had to just improvise. But I used that skit, and then I show some videos of my girls. I've been watching my past few ones, and man, these have gotten shorter over the years. I didn't know I did some for like 20-something minutes. I was like, what was I thinking there? But they were all fun to watch. I just, bumped my table there. Anyway, but I'll try to expand upon them. But I've shown all the fun stuff you can do here. I think I'm showing a different light park this time, but everything else people have seen on my videos, because I've been piecing over the past 5 years. I've been doing like little vignettes of fun things to do, and in my hometown. But people say, "Oh, you live in a Christmas town?" No, I've just picked out everything that's available for Christmas. Not everything. They've opened up a few other things. I didn't take video because they opened up get this. This is a smart idea. For $25. That you can go into this place, and they each there's Christmas trees all decorated different things, like a Marvel tree, Louisiana tree, whatever tree, and you can take pictures. It's just a place where you can take photos. They'll take photos for you. You can take photos at all their little props, and they have Santa there. You can take pictures with Santa. You have to pay $5 extra for Santa. But I was like, wait, what? So it's a neat idea, and they have people coming in, but you can take, just little photo vignettes of everything. You on a park bench next to a mailbox that said Santa's mailbox, or with a bunch of fake snowmen. I was like, I see how it's going. Just people want things to do right now, so they'll go anywhere and do anything. Just do something fun for Christmas.
Well, looks like for my Christmas, I'm gonna have to be sitting in the room with a mask on.
Yeah. Let's see here. Which one of the two movies I like better? That's a tough one. The Ewoks Battle for Endor is really dark at the beginning, which I love, and that's a good one. But oh man, I don't know because Ewok Adventure is just classic. It's classic. I can't make my mind up on those two. Have y'all seen the Ewok movies?
It has been years since I've seen those, because my dad, he actually taped them on VHS when they were on TV, and I watched them when I was younger. And I remember the first one the most for some reason.
I just remember seeing a cartoon of Ewoks, actually.
Yeah, you can get, I think the DVDs are not that expensive. I don't remember. There's a 2-in-1 DVD that came out years ago. I remember I bought several I bought a copy for me, a copy for two of my buddies. And when I gifted it to someone for Christmas, Bruce, my buddy, he gifted me the same DVD. We had the same Christmas idea for each other. But I need to watch those again. I really loved them. The first one is it's about a little girl and a young boy, and their parents go missing. They crashed on Endor, and their parents get captured by a oh goodness,
A Gorax, I believe it's
Gorax. It's a giant beast of Endor. And so the kids are found by the Ewoks. The Ewoks agree to help them find their parents. And so they go on this, big adventure, trekking through like Lord of the Rings. It's an odd party that has to stick together and move and fight the Gorax and win. And then the family's all together. Well, the second one, George Lucas had read the book Heidi to his little girl. And Heidi, it starts off with her whole family dying. So George Lucas liked that idea. So what he did is he killed off the entire family in the first 5 minutes of the film, the second film. Now I think the dad is different and the mom's face isn't seen. You just see a dead body where their mom was. But the kids are the same, and the boy dies at the very beginning. And the thing is, when the little boy who came back for the second movie, he didn't know he was going to die. And he got the script in and saw that he dies in the very first act. He sat in his little trailer and cried and cried and cried.
Oh my!
He did not want. He had so much fun on the first movie. He thought, "Hey, we're making another movie. It's gonna be great." And he was so upset that he died. I have the kids. The kid grew up. He wrote an autobiography, which was really. He should have got an editor. It's rife with misspellings and just it's not worded properly, but it was interesting to hear his experiences on the Ewok movies. So
you see, I only remember the name of the girl. Her name was like Sindel, I believe. That was her name, right?
Yeah. Sindel Tatwani and Mace Tatwani.
Mace, yeah.
Yeah, Mace. And he signs his autograph. I have his autograph somewhere up here. It says the original Mace. Hello. Let's see. Troy didn't really hate it online and being accused of making the Denning verse. From what you've read of him, do you think such hate is somewhat justified? I've never heard of the Denning verse and Troy Denning. Troy Denning to me is someone. He's nice to me. I heard on social media he's maybe not the nicest person, but the Denning verse, no, he shared. Well, I mean, he has own writings too, but when he was kind of he was the main guy for Del Rey. No doubt about that. Because he was helping out with the big story arcs, but there were several authors involved. He was not the big cheese there. I'm sure he ended the series a lot of the time, but he was just he's a great author. And like I said, I talked to him, I can't remember how many years ago. It was at least 4 years ago, I think now, 4 or 5 years ago, at a Pensacon, actually, is what it was. In fact, my wife wanted to go, and I said, there's no way we're going to that. And then I read that Dave Dorman and Troy Denning would be there. I was like, we're going. Because I wanted to get Dave Dorman to sign some of his Dark Empire art and everything. And I also wanted to hear from Troy Denning. And I got to talk to him. And in fact, someone who watches my channel met me for the first time. He was in line not to meet Troy Denning, but to say hello to me. I turned around, I was like, oh, here, you want to talk to Troy Denning? He's like, actually, I want to talk to you. I was like, okay. He went, I'm a big fan of your channel. I was like, oh, thanks. Hey, this is Troy Denning, right? You may want to say hello to him too. But that was it. Yeah.
I can't believe over the summer I read this many expanded universe books.
I've just been re-listening to some old audiobooks. I mean, that's pretty much it. Just because my time has been short and not exactly having the time to sit down and read a book, because most of the day I'm sleeping for work and then it's back to it, and I just listen to an audiobook in between when I'm driving there and whatnot.
Oh yeah, there you
Those
go.
books included the Callista trilogy and the Crystal Star.
Yeah. Yeah,
Crystal Star was a fun one.
Stig said he'd rather talk to me than Denny. That's funny. Let me see. Oh, the droids and Ewok movies were cheaper than my Droids and Ewoks DVD. I prefer the second one for a twist and an unexpected beginning. Read the picture book adaptations of the
Oh, I didn't know there was
movie.
picture book ones.
There were some. I guess there were, if I remember right, there were some library movies, weren't they? Weren't there? I mean, library books. Maybe. I don't know. No, I don't. I vaguely remember that, but maybe misremembering. Maybe misremembering that. And I'm an Ewok guy. Ewok guy. I mean, I found out a few weeks ago or a week ago they'd made a Kanisha action figure from the Ewoks cartoon, and a oh goodness, Tibbet, who was in the Marvel comic books. Actually, from Mary Jo Johnson, the original Marvel line, they made a character of him too. Now those go for like $20-$40 a piece. They ain't cheap, and that's loose. You want to buy them in that pack. They came in an Ewok pack, and those things go for like $120, which is like $110 more than what I'd ever spend on it. There's some Ewok things I'd love to see, but here we go. Even if I don't like Ahsoka, are you at least thankful that Ahsoka allowed Luke and Leia to be born when she saved Padme's life during Aurra Singh's assassination attempts? No. Sorry.
Ow, that hurt a little bit.
I found Empire Strikes Back radio play on eBay the other day for $4. Think about buying it. The radio, the audio versions are actually really fun. I believe Mark Hamill came back for Return of the Jedi. He didn't do the first two, but he did Return of the Jedi because it came out years later. I mean, like early 90s, if I remember right, or mid 90s even. But the first two were done way back in the day, and Anthony Daniels reprised his role as C-3PO for all three. But and there's a very funny joke that's in the audio version of the show, the radio version of the show that was not in the movie, and it's in A New Hope, where General Dodonna is talking to Han Solo. Han Solo's about to leave. He's got his money. He's leaving, and he goes, "Han Solo, Mr. Captain Solo, we could really use an extra pilot." He said, "Yeah, I don't feel like being referred to as a or something." He makes a joke about maybe dying. He said, "Yeah, I don't." He said, "I don't feel like making one last run with the Millennium Falcon." He went, and General Dodonna goes, "I don't quite follow you, Captain Solo." To which Han Solo responds, "Well, if you did, you'd live a lot longer." Maybe you followed me out of here, because they're going to kill us. I just thought that was really, really funny. Really funny.
Yeah, it was on eBay too, and I found the Jedi Knight audio dramas for sale on cassette. I like me some Kyle Katarn.
So now I just want to go play Jedi Outcast again.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine tell me that he's trying to get Jeremy from Stupid Chainsaw Production is trying to get his collection back. Yeah, as you know, his thing got burned. His whole collection got burned in a fire.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he was part of those California fires up north. And yeah,
I remember his videos on that. Yeah.
Yeah. His whole city burned. And so he lost his whole collection. And so he's slowly been building it back. And I said, "Are you sure you want all of them? Because some of the books you're looking for aren't really worth going after." But yeah, he said he's got most of his his hardback collection back now. He's been slowly collecting it. Yeah, it was really good.
I would love to have like physical copies and whatnot, but I'd rather just have it like easy at the tip of my finger on a phone. That's just me.
59 books. That's amazing. Stick.
Oh, those are great games. I remember when my friend,
Squadron.
when he sold me his PSP
Oh, yeah.
back in like over the summer of 2014. It was like right in the senior year of high school. He sold me that, and I've always wanted to play those games.
Prototype for
And
Battlefront 3.
They're pretty good.
That Elite Squadron is like the prototype for the original Battlefront 3 that was going to be worked on, but got canned by LucasArts, I think.
Yep.
It was canned even 2 or 3 years before I think Disney bought Star Wars, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So
and they were almost finished with the game too.
Yeah, I don't know why LucasArts had to can it. Oh wait, because I think it had to do with like they were trying to push Force Unleashed or something. Well, I don't know, but I liked Force Unleashed, but it's just that if I had to choose, I'd say give me Battlefront 3.
Yeah. Tanner said that I was wrong, and I guess I was. Mark Hamill was in the first two and not in Return of the Jedi. So sorry about that. Got that mixed up. Thank you. I don't know who Valkyrin is, but I'll say hello to Benjamin for you.
Oh, I know who he is. He's like
is
this
that?
alter ego of Vitiate from SWTOR. I haven't played SWTOR in like 4 years, but I do know this stuff from like word of mouth.
I got a buddy that loves to crap on SWTOR. Iron, you know him.
Yeah.
Tiber.
Yeah, I just like Quinlan Voss here. I prefer.
Wait, what was that last comment?
Too. Oh, sorry, Kyle. Something.
I always prefer physical copies. Something really special, but yeah, that's just you. I mean, everyone is just them, but it's a matter of shelf space for me because I'm going to be moving next year with my fiance. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Stig, New Rebellion, I thought it's okay. It's okay. It's good. I found it interesting. It's not bad. Something a little bit different, and plus, I think she was trying to go for there was a big story about her. She was supposed to be, if Bantam would have kept the rights, we would have seen more from Christian Catherine Rush. Moving forward, because Kevin J. Anderson, of course, was kind of the main man at Bantam. He was writing tons of stuff for him, and he had said that Kristen Catherine Rush was supposed to be, she did New Rebellion, and they were going to do more stuff together. That's why her stuff is. That's why Kevin J. Anderson picked up on one of her characters later on for Young Jedi Knights, and they were just kind of hitting characters back and forth. So there could have been some more stuff if Bantam would have taken over the series. It would have been. It would have been different, but not necessarily better. I'm fine with Del Rey getting the rights from Bantam. I was not upset by that. I didn't really notice until the New Jet Order book came out. I was like, oh, Del Rey has the rights back. Okay. I thought Del Rey had bought Bantam. Back then, the internet wasn't that big a deal. And so I really didn't know what had happened when they made the switch, and I didn't care. I just thought Del Rey was okay, the rights got the Del Rey, or maybe they're the same company now. I don't know. Either way, I wasn't outraged that Bantam had lost the rights. I enjoy the Bantam books. I enjoy the Bantam era, but I wonder about the more loss of Bantam. That's like if Dark Horse had lost the rights to Marvel, let's say, or DC even, I would have been okay with that too. I think Dark Horse was kind of giving up on stories. They were just churning out that Darth Vader miniseries, whatever they could think of. And it was flip a coin, good or bad, mostly bad. I wasn't enjoying a lot of the stuff that Dark Horse was putting out those last few years. I mean, sure, there's some good stuff. There's some good stories they were putting out here and there toward the end. But in my opinion, a lot of it was just mediocre at best, and sometimes just plain terrible. So if Dark Horse would have been stripped the rights away, let's say Lucas didn't sell the company and had gone to Marvel anyway, I'd have been happy to see and hear a fresh face, a fresh take on the comic books. And then Dark Horse did some amazing stories, but just toward the end, I felt that they were kind of losing their touch.
Yeah.
So everyone. talk about that.
Yeah,
That's debatable for me.
the rebellion ended being a very short rebellion.
Yeah,
Funny is that book is actually on my Christmas wish list.
man, I don't know because you know what? To me, I won't even care about that.
I don't.
We will be addressing on Prince of the Universe next week. Nope, 2 weeks. No, next week we'll address all the Marvel news and everything. Bruce really wanted to talk about it, so
I still have not even seen the final season of Clone Wars yet.
I still gotta do that too.
Probably gonna rage at some things about it, but I'm still probably gonna end up like still like finishing it with a smile on my face because I still find that show halfway enjoyable, but I still got issues with it.
Same. At one point, I want to do a podcast about that.
It's like half love, half hate.
Son of Luke, if you remember the in my reviews, those weren't canon. I know someone was trying to argue with me that it was. It wasn't. It didn't come out under the Infinities label. But the reason was Dark Horse even did an interview saying that you should consider this in that comic book series only the movies exist. They said it's its separate own storyline, and they held on to that when people were complaining about it online and say, "Hey guys, in this comic book series only the movies exist," but they didn't want to call it Infinities because Infinities hurt sales. So they tried to see if you were dumb enough that you wouldn't notice all the inconsistencies. And by the way, none of the characters, Luke, Leia, or any of them, felt like who they were from the movies either. Brian Wood was just awful at writing. He thought he was the smartest thing in the world because he got offered to write the story, anything you wanted. And he goes, "Okay, well, I don't want to adhere to the expanded universe." They said, "Okay." He went, "I want to do my own crazy story," and it was garbage, really garbage. No. Let's see. He will forever defend Dark Horse. In your opinion, put out some good stuff from beginning to end. I don't know if I can agree to that. I thought there was some mediocre Vader stories. I was not a fan of what was that, Agent of the Empire?
Oh, I remember what you're talking about.
I can't remember. Wasn't a fan of that one. Wasn't. I mean, there was just a lot. I mean, there was some good stuff here, but here and there. But I mean, Star Wars Tales, just awful stuff for the most part. So I like I said, they brought out some great stuff. I mean, yeah, they have some of the best comic book stories ever told. To be honest, if I have I mean, Dark Horse led the way for it, but I would like to see someone new take it on. Maybe that's just me.
And Dawn of the Jedi would have been, great had they been able to finish it, like, properly.
Yeah, it wasn't Dawn of the Jedi like the beginning of like very beginning of the Republic and whatnot, like long before the old Republic era.
Yeah, it was like the origin of the Jedi.
Oh, Stig, I love you.
And that's why axing the EU was a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. I got a question here, a Wheel of Time question. Yes, Hamburglar, if you go back through some of my Prince of the Universe that I did earlier this summer, we actually went through the entire Wheel of Time series. And so once you finish reading, we go through it book by book, and we have a great time. And the Schlag, Winter's Heart is definitely part of that. Yeah, there's about a 4-book slog that you have to work through. I mean, really work through until Knife of Dreams. It starts kind of you're leaving the bog at that point, and then Brandon Sanderson takes over, and it boom takes off and really delivers at the end. So just hang in there is what I have to tell you, Hamburglar.
I hear a TV in the background.
Yeah, Stig Kenobi.
Well, that's probably my grandma. She has the TV on.
Well, I'm not defending Marvel's new stuff, by the way. I haven't read a lot of it. Marvel's old stuff, the old comic book was fun, but for a different reason. I mean, there are some good Archie Goodwin stories they put in there, and there's actually some decent stuff they have in the old Marvel. But yeah, when you want to compare as you go with the expanded universe, then yeah, Dark Horse took the lead. But did anyone really get another shot back in that day? No, they didn't. So that's the thing. I think someone could have done it better. I mean, better as Dark Horse was getting toward the end of their contract. That's what I mean. See, Agent of the Empire, I didn't like it. Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what scene he's talking about. Yeah.
Let me yeah, I just as what was I saying? As the comic books go, I didn't. Dark Horse to me just felt they were running out of ideas, and they shouldn't have been. There's plenty of places they should have gone. John Ostrander was doing Dawn of the Empire, no, Dawn of the Jedi, excuse me, Dawn of the Jedi, which wasn't that good in my opinion, but had promise.
It had so much potential.
Yeah, and then Legacy was really good, and I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Legacy, but like I said, for every winner they had, it seemed at that point they also had something that was just a dud for me. Rebel Heist, I mean, it's just mediocre. Thoughts on the Obi-Wan fighting Darth Vader in between 3 and 4 upcoming? Oh, I don't know. I don't keep up with that.
It's Disney, dude.
Oh boy.
A friend of mine, Anomaly Incorporated, ripped that whole idea into a new one.
You're cracking me up. Old Marvel will take anyone back in time periods that experience every issue with a big grin on the face. Oh yeah, I was the same way. Those are just fun. Those are fun adventure romps. Yeah, I did, but Gus Malzahn didn't. I got like 1 billion text messages on Sunday when the news hit he got fired. They wanted to know my thoughts. Yeah, you know what? Gus was a one-trick pony with plenty of tricks up his sleeve, but unfortunately, tricks will get you wins here and there. It's not going to be consistent, and he, in my mind, was not that good of a recruiter. We still have one of the worst quarterbacks. How does every team get a decent quarterback? And Auburn's quarterback sucks from year to year. From year to year, we hear, "Oh, they've got a big one. They've got a big one," and dude, if Senator Tuberville will come back and coach, that's who I'm picking. That's who I want. He can run the state and run the Auburn football team at the same time. I trust Tuberville. I would vote for Tuberville. Senator Tuberville. Let's see. But yeah, so anyway, that was maybe be Senator one day too. Yeah. So yeah, and then with in baseball news, if you want to know boring sports stuff, my Mets are owned by a new owner, and I hope skies are the limit with them. So there you go. I may even think about bringing. Do you know, Christopher? Since Christopher's reeling that conversation back to football, do you know my brother totally forgot that Auburn had beat Bama 6 years in a row? He'd forgotten about that. He totally took that out of his memory. And I had a shirt that said that. He went, "What's that about?" I was like, "It was when we beat Bama 6 years. You'll never be a 6 years in a row." I said, "Yes, we did, doofus. Look it up." And he looked at it, I was like, "I don't remember this." I said, "You don't remember it? What even?" Well, I guess now it's been about 10 years, but I was like, goodness gracious, it was recent. How do you not? He's like, "How do I forget about that?" He's a big Bama fan, but obviously those losses just he kind of forgets about all those. I don't know who this is for. With ever thought on going into comedy? Who's with? What do you go with? Let's see. Yeah, Stig, we'll bring you on for a little bit. Does anyone here follow Star Wars memes? I do not.
No, not really.
Sort of. I mean, I made a meme video about Charles II of Spain a couple days ago, and it kind of involved the tragedy of Darth Plagueis. I was just like, have you ever heard the tragedy of Charles II of Spain? It is not a story your history teacher would tell you.
Hey, that's another one though. Tanner, you asked a question here, but I wanted to turn it into something else. That Dark Horse New Jedi Order Invasion comic book. There's a missed opportunity there, right? They made the New Jedi Order. That's the worst part of New Jedi Order is Invasion. I mean, even Chewbacca, the little mini series, was much better. Even though it's not the best thing, it's okay in parts. I think the first and the last issue I enjoyed the most, but man, they did Invasion, which I was super excited about. I was like, oh wow, the New Jedi Order continues on in Tales from Dark Horse, but they couldn't even get that right.
What's kind of sad and funny is those were my first introduction to New Jedi Order. And yeah, I thought those comics were okay. I mean,
man, that was I did not like them. Even Tales made Nathan P. Butler put together that great short story with Kyle Katarn in there that I thought was interesting. I was happy to see Kyle Katarn. It took place, I think, a year after New Jedi Order wrapped up, so that's why he picked that era. But he wanted to know what Kyle Katarn was doing. He wanted to do something for him, which I thought was interesting. Let's see. A lot of fans talking about Wikipedia and Zone stuff over A canon. Every other EU is secondary. Yeah, and there's a lot of Timothy Zahn fans that think Timothy Zahn is the best and everyone else is second. Isn't that right, Stig?
Maybe. I don't know. I like most of the Star Wars EU, though. I even like the Agents of the Empire thing. Because
you do?
Yeah, I'm reading it for the first time right now. It was in the.
But you know what? To be honest, I'm not a 007 fan.
Oh, it's a complete 007 ripoff.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But for me, that's probably why. Just because I didn't like James Bond, I don't like Agents of the Empire. But to be honest, to be fair, I remember on the forums back then, it was a very popular series. People did love it, and they loved the character in there too. I can't think of his name right now.
Cross.
Yeah,
I had never heard of him, but all of a sudden, I buy that latest comic omnibus, and it had those comics and The Force Unleashed in it. So I was like, "Oh, cool! I haven't read this before, so I've been reading it, and I liked the thing where Vader dealt with the Dooku family and the other nobles on that planet. He just said, kill the person.
The comic series where he had like, what's his face, Iako Stark? His head was like grafted onto some weird droid thing.
Yeah. It was the Stark hyperspace war guy. He had gone full crazy.
I remember that. It was kind of freaky when I first saw it.
No,
yeah.
Man.
That thing Vader did though with the nobles on Serrano, he basically said if you want to stay alive and not get nuked by the Empire for supporting the Separatists, you have to kill the person that's ahead of you in the family that you're in. So it turned into a massacre. People started stabbing their relatives, and then he made them kneel in the blood.
Oh, my.
And basically just submit to the Empire. I was like, that's pretty dark, even for Star Wars.
Yeah, I thought that's what OG made y'all do to get on their channel.
No. All you have to do is like Star Wars, the original Star Wars.
By the way, why haven't I seen y'all in a coffee chat recently?
There hasn't been one.
I know why.
OG lost her aunt right before the last coffee chat, the day
She
before.
lost her what?
Her aunt.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. But we did the week before that. We did the book thing in the
I
evening.
saw that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're talking
I
about
think I even commented on that, didn't I?
maybe.
I got to hear that one live. I think a little bit too. I
I
think
think you were
did.
having a go at me and the chickens again.
Of course, I was.
Yeah.
Of course.
Excuse me while I lay my head on the desk.
Here we go. Anyone remember the comic book where Vader cuts someone in half, but goes from top of head through nose, eyes, mouth, all the way down, creating two halves?
That was the Splinter of the Mind's Eye, right? Pretty sure it was
I
the
never read the
Splinter of the
comic book
Mind's Eye
adaptation.
Yeah, maybe that character had to split.
Christopher Chance wants you to know, Stig, that you were correct. Darth Maul Shadowhunter is very good.
Yeah, I've recommended it to people, and one of the guys, Raging Rhino, he was so happy with it, he started reading it again right after.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And yes, it was Splinter in the Mind's Eye. So there you go. Yeah, I've never. That sounds like something from Splinter in the Mind's Eye because it had a lot of darkness in it. I don't know if they put this in the comic book, but in the book, the villain who kind of runs the governor who runs that planet, he has a staff, a pointed spear-like staff, and someone wants to make a complaint. He goes, fine. And then he gouges his eye, gouges the guy's eye, then pulls it out of his socket, and the eyes, he's like, tell him that his complaint is on record, And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
It was a very violent,
sounds like he got the point.
Yeah. But yeah, that's great. But I remember that reading that and going, oh my gosh. Because those were the old school Del Rey books, the Han Solo trilogy and the Lando Calrissian trilogy, which were fun.
Yeah, I'm into one of the Brian Daley books right now. Reading what is it, Han Solo and the Lost Legacy.
Oh yeah, those are so fun.
Yes, I'm loving it. Reading it for the first time.
Yeah, no, I love the Brian Daley, and I told you about the Brian Daley books are just so much fun. I enjoy the Lando Calrissian books. Made me a Lando fan, the Lando fan I am today. And even though they're probably not as well written as Brian Daley's, I enjoy them because the bar was set so low for those Lando Calrissian trilogies, no pun intended there, and that when I started reading them, I was so impressed with Lando Calrissian as a character, and he's in the Millennium Falcon. This is back in the days when he owned the Millennium Falcon too, and that was there are zero stories about him owning the Falcon really, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And the trilogy actually has a character arc for his robot sidekick, which is really interesting. And later on, the expanded universe would of course tie that into bigger things later on that I'm going to reveal and talk about tomorrow on the Unifying Force.
They're actually about to rip off those stories with Disney Star Wars. A friend of mine did some research on that because they announced the Lando show and it was supposed to be event driven. And one of the people who are involved with that one, plus Pablo Hidalgo, they were involved with the production of those stories back in the day. So it's going to be the Lando adventures pretty much from the old books, I think.
Okay, let me ask you this here. This is one. What do you think is the goriest Star Wars event?
The goriest?
Yeah.
I might go to the Yuzhong Vong or the Clone Wars. Like, if we're going by wars, because if the Yuzhong Vong, from what I recall, was the most costly for both the New Republic and the remnants of the Empire, and they still managed to pull through out of that disaster.
Mhm.
But it was the most brutal war. But then the second would be the Clone Wars, even though that was the shortest war, but it was the most gruesome for both the Republic and the Confederacy, from what I recall.
The Battle of Rusan was pretty brutal too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another good one. There's a lot of. I would go with New York Order, of course, because I'm New York Order. But I mean, if you're talking about goriest instance in a book, I mean, there's some.
I have a good one for that.
What's that?
The goriest
Yeah,
incident when Leia used her lightsaber to kill that hut.
Veldorian.
Yeah,
You can maybe
yeah,
put orders.
because that would have been a proper splat, wouldn't it?
You can maybe put orders.
Yeah, I remember reading the description of that, and I was like, "Oh my!" And I sent it to my friend, and he was like, "Oh yes," because he likes edgy stuff like that.
Yeah, I was like, go Leia. This was awesome.
What did you think about Brice Ophi before the Clone Wars ruined her? There wasn't that much about her. I think there was a book. Wasn't she in The Approaching Storm?
Yeah, she was introduced. She and Luminara were introduced in a book written 2 or 3 years before Attack of the Clones, actually.
Yeah.
And the MedStar ones, she's in those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I love MedStar. MedStar, as Clone Wars books go, those are my favorite. And she was good in that. And yeah, the Clone Wars, Filoni made her look like if I remember, a teenager that was kind of immature, a little bit too. And
She also shrunk.
Say what?
She shrunk because you see her next to the clone troopers in Attack of the Clones, and they're the same height.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, in the Clone Wars show that takes place later, she's a head shorter.
Yeah, it's totally stupid, totally stupid. So I wasn't a big fan, of course, for how the Clone. Well, I'm not a big fan of the Clone Wars, Filoni's Clone Wars period. But Brice Ophi before that was fine, fine, interesting character. I'm just sad they had to. Why couldn't you just make up another character as bad as Ahsoka and then put her in her own spin-off movie years later? You know what the Ahsoka TV show is going to be, right? It's the Timothy Zahn trilogy, except Luke is replaced with Ahsoka. And Filoni may play Thrawn. Who knows?
Oh my God.
Well, Filoni just did an interview, and he said he had no problems with breaking continuity and
of course
retconning
not.
stuff. I'm like, yeah, we knew that 10 years ago.
Yeah,
that pretty much proves that basically what he was doing was wrong. It still pisses me off to this day. But right now, I'm just feeling too gross to get angry about it or disappointed, or maybe I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the fun thing about. I mean, someone mentioned here Joe Schreiber. There it was. Any Joe Schreiber book there could have been gory. And yes, I mean, he wrote those horror books too, and those were
Death Troopers.
Say what?
Death Troopers, the zombie Star Wars book.
Death Trooper, which Stig is not a fan of, and Red Harvest, which I'm not a fan of. I don't know, Stig, do you even bother giving Red Harvest a try?
No, I've bought it, but I haven't gotten to it. I've been trying to read the books set after Return of the Jedi that I haven't read before.
Gotcha.
And,
I got it.
I like Death Troopers. It was actually kind of fun. Not perfect, but it was just fun.
I haven't read any of those yet.
I had problems with that one, but I get why people liked it though. It's just it's a subjective thing, right?
I would actually like to hear your problems with it if you don't mind.
Well, the problems I had is this is a standalone story, and it's a horror story set in the Star Wars universe, right? Because it's never referenced anywhere, I think, afterwards. So it's a standalone horror story, and it falls apart when Han and Chewie shows up and becomes one.
Yeah, that's something
Mm.
that's a problem I have with the book. You didn't need to have fan service in there.
Yeah, because you know they're gonna survive, so it takes a lot of the horror away.
I
Because all
agree.
of a sudden you have
I
two characters that are safe.
I agree. I guess that's why the best parts of the book are with the non-movie characters, non-characters that people are familiar with,
Yeah, the doctor lady was awesome.
and the kids, of course, and the sociopath character as well. He had an arc, so he ended it by sacrificing himself. So, like, I think his name was I forgot. My brain is just fuzzy.
Well, let me ask you this question by Quillen Voss. Who was Star Wars' most despicable character? I mean,
Palpatine.
say what? Palpatine?
Palpatine.
I mean, one that are you talking about one that we love to hate, someone that was a villain? I think Borsfila, a lot of people hated.
Oh yeah, I hate him.
Yeah.
Same.
Ooh, another one. Favorite scene from Tartakovsky's Clone Wars.
The introduction of General Grievous.
You know,
There's no doubt about that.
despicable characters, though. I mean, Anakin killed the younglings.
Oh, there you go. Not a fun not a good person. Despicable there. Yeah, I like to think. What was it? Was it Robot Chicken? Who did that comedy about Anakin flying his lightsaber around? Then he wakes up and he's in the middle of the Jedi Temple with all the kids all dead and goes, "Oops."
Oh, where
I think it was Robot Chicken. I think that was Robot Chicken.
That sounds like it could be something like that.
Well, I can defend Anakin, though, because those kids were obviously up way past their bedtime.
And you got to discipline them somehow, right?
Yeah, and, it didn't have a belt. He had a lightsaber. So
there you go. All right. One of my favorite scenes from Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, obviously General Grievous is a great one to pick. There are several others too. The introduction of Ventress was really good. Really awesome scene. The Mace Windu episode where he just fights with the Force. All those battle droids. That is just an excellent one. There's a lot of good moments in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series that I can talk about.
Brain wasn't so fuzzy right now. I think I probably would pick one, but I'm just like too many to count.
There's one. Another question that I got here is, what is your favorite EU book?
Mine is probably tied with Heir to the Empire versus Path of Destruction.
Path of Destruction is my number one.
Path of Destruction. Okay. Stig, do you have a favorite right now?
The Kenobi book, because it's different.
Yeah. That was a good one.
But ask me next week and I'll say another book, because I have many favorites.
Yeah, the Kenobi book is a good one. It's a Western and done really well. Really well. That was when I heard about John Jackson Miller doing this, first off, John Jackson Miller was never, he's hit or miss for me, but in novels, I was like, oh, is this guy really going to do a good job? And he did an excellent job. That's really a masterpiece, his best thing he's ever written. And that's on top of Knights of the Old Republic comic book series, which I absolutely love. I absolutely love it. But I think Obi-Wan Kenobi is a brilliant.
They're getting re-released in a hardcover collection thing.
I heard.
Ooh.
Good for them.
50 comics for $125, I think it was. I'm gonna get it on principle.
I'm tempted now.
Yeah.
Well,
it's being released in July.
Yeah, those Marvel books that those Marvel reprints are really nice. They're really nice. I got to admit, they are super nice.
This one will be different, though. This is a different thing. It's not the Epic Collection thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is the Epic collections have there's 3 volumes and they're paperbacks, and they include all the Old Republic ones. But this one is everything in one hardcover. It's going to be one thick beast of a book.
Ooh, nice. I'm glad they're doing that.
Which leads me to believe that since BioWare are remastering the Mass Effect games, I'm thinking we might see a Knights of the Old Republic remaster, because I saw EA, who owns BioWare, talk about the Old Republic remaster earlier this year, and they said if they did it, they would tweak it to fit the Disney canon.
Oh,
which is a bad thing.
so dumb.
Yeah, and I don't know.
That kind of proves that they don't have plans to have Legends as a separate universe or support both.
No, and Kathleen Kennedy was talking about how they all of a sudden have discovered that there's thousands of years of material.
Yeah, you know why she said that? Because there was a billboard sitting in her front lawn for 6.5 months telling her that. That billboard was up there forever. And she's thinking, okay, I'm not fooling anyone. I may as just go ahead and just admit it. Okay, yeah.
You know what? All she had to do was say, sorry, I didn't know everything.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. That's all we really needed, right?
Yeah.
Didn't need anything else. Well, fellas, I'm going to have to end it because I got to get up in the morning. But I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, Stig, for jumping in last minute here.
Yeah, well, it's early in the morning and I got out of bed.
I appreciate that, man. Iron Kyle. Kyle, hope you feel better soon, my friend.
Hope I do. I'm going straight to bed right after this.
You go straight to bed.
Oh, same here.
And thanks, Iron, for joining too. And
it was my pleasure.
Having everyone here.
Nice
Guys, if I do one of these again, I may do it in the day if I have time, because next week I'll be off. If so, I may have Stig we'll have hot cocoa. I don't drink coffee, so maybe I'll just have hot cocoa. Maybe we'll talk. I don't know, Stig. Unless Laura's going to be doing something.
Well, you can drink whiskey if you want, for all I care. I don't mind.
There you go. But I'll try to do it again sometime. So everyone have a wonderful rest of the week, and